On May 23rd, 1934, a small-time robber and multiple murderer was gunned to death. He was one of many, many brutal murderers and robbers of his era. Wasn't distinguished by getting a big haul. He never got one. He never even tried for one. He primarily robbed small mom and pop stores, grocery stores, gas stations. When he did rob banks, it was usually a little bank, not a big one. So his largest haul was something like a little over $1,000. Not much even by the Depression era standards. He wasn't up there with John Dillinger, who didn't like him, or some of the other, Depression era gangsters. But he's remembered today and he'll never be forgotten. He's remembered today because of his alliance with Bonnie Parker, who was gunned down the same day he was. She died age 23. He died age 24. And the reason they're remembered is because of her poetry. Okay. Now, her poetry was not brilliant, and it could be considered doggerel. But in my opinion, at least, and I'm not although I am a poet myself, I'm not an expert on poetry by any means. I think that her poetry does show a certain amount of kind of a yearning for a greater meaning, to find a greater meaning in a rather pointless life, and also a kind of understanding, which makes it rather sad, of just how pointless the crimes that she, Clyde Barrow, and the whole group, the Barrow gang, were in on committed. They basically just kind of went around in circles or oxbows, never got rich. They didn't live in glamorous circumstances. Sometimes they'd rent a flat in some cheap place. A lot of times they'd have to camp out, which of course means they ate out of canned things or maybe roasted something. Had to urinate and defecate out in the open. Not that great of a life by any means. But there is a certain amount of talent in her poem, The Trail's End. It's usually called The Story of Bonnie and Clyde, but she titled it The Trail's End. It starts, "You have read the story of Jesse James, of how he lived and died. If you still are in need of something to read, here's the story of Bonnie and Clyde. Now, Bonnie and Clyde are the Barrow gang. I'm sure you all have read how they rob and steal, and how those who squeal are usually found dying or dead. There are a lot of untruths to their write-ups. They're not so merciless as that. They hate all the laws, the stool pigeons, spotters, and rats." Okay, well, and then, it goes on. And later it says, The road gets dimmer and dimmer. Sometimes you can hardly see. Still, it's fight man to man and do all you can, for they know they can never be free. And then there's another line that says, they don't think they are too tough or desperate. They know the law always wins. They have been shot at before, but they do not ignore that death is the wages of sin. From heartbreak, some people have suffered. From weariness, some people have died. But take it all in all, our troubles are small, till we get like Bonnie and Clyde. Someday they will go